Hello, how are you doing? I'm gonna jump right in. This is my second time trying to record this. The last one was 17 minutes, but I have a lot of information to talk about, but I'm gonna try to rush along through it. Now, just to so you don't have to go too far in the video, if you want to know which one of these that I think are best, these are Dollar Tree and Dollar General detergents, not including that. My favorite one, I think the one that works the best is this one. If I'm ranking these, this is first place, this is second place, this is third place, this is fourth place, and this is last place, but this is a wool wash, so it really should be in its own category. So I really shouldn't include it, but if we're going to include it in this group, this is last place. So what I want to talk about now is some people may be wondering, I'm a college student, and so some people, we broke a little bit at times. And so what's the best bang we can get for our buck is what I'm trying to get at. And so Tide is expensive, all is expensive, and this is, let me get this for you. We have Tide, and this is, my mom always used Tide, or she would always use All. And she would always use the free and clear versions because all of us have sensitive skin and we all have eczema. So the question was, okay, then could I use these without my skin breaking out and having problems? Because they're only $1. Each one of these is $1 each. So I was like, okay, then let me see if I can. One thing I will say is, there's a dermatologist, I'm gonna link the video, and he talked about a good thing regardless of which detergent you use. He first of all recommends using the free and clear because that's better and you're less prone to actually having an allergic reaction to it. But he said that one thing you need to do is add a second rinse cycle. There's a second rinse cycle right here. Hopefully you can see that to your wash. That way it further dilutes and washes away any more residue or soap or detergent from your wash. And so, but I was like, okay, then I'm gonna apply that principle to these. So I did, and for me personally, I haven't had any allergic reactions to any of these. I've read some reviews, and some people have said they've had an allergic reaction to this. Maybe they didn't dilute it. And then another thing you always have to do with detergents and really any chemical that you're really gonna be putting on your body, from skincare, cosmetics, whatever, is patch test. And they say that, read the instructions. Patch test. What I like to patch test and how I like to do it is take a small amount, apply it to the underarm portion of your fabric. And the reason I do that is because when you only apply a small amount to the underarm area is very sensitive. So if you do break out, it'll be very minimal and it'll be right in that area, and you'll know, hey, I cannot tolerate. What I would say is you only apply a small amount to that area, put it through the cycle twice, or if you want to wash it by hand, run it underwater, let it remain in the water for 30 minutes. Ruffle it up a little bit and then take it out to dry. You could either throw it in the dryer at that point, or you could dry it, hang it up to dry, wring it out, hang it up to dry, and see how you tolerate it. If you're fine, then you're great to go. If you break out, then these methods will not work for you. The LA's Totally Awesome brand offers a free and clear version. Now, I'm going to add a disclaimer that I've never personally used it, and I've never actually seen it in stores. But maybe that's a regional area. I live in Georgia, so I don't know. I've been to all around the Metro Atlanta area, and I have not seen this at any of the. I haven't seen the free and clear version at any of the dollar stores. So that's just a fair warning if you could find it. I would say you could look it up online, but at that point it probably won't be $1, and it probably costs a lot extra. So you just skip it. Now, so what you could use instead is this, because this is a lot more gentle. Now, I'm going to get into why all of these do work. But what I will say is there are tiers. I'm going to leave a lot of videos and articles for everything that I've looked up and researched, because I've looked over the material for about a month now. So what I will say is this is not a video where I go into like showing you examples of like the clothes and stuff like that. I apologize. If you want to see that, I can make one of those for you. But I just want you to have an understanding as to why I like all these products, and they all do work, and they all get the stains out. They all clean everything. But what I will say is that the lower end, these are lower end. There are three tiers. There's top end, think your Tide and your Persil. There are mid grade, think your All, your Arm& and Hammer. I'm forgetting one, but think that side. And then these are your lower grades. The difference between all of them is this. Lower grades only have surfactants. They do not have detergent enzymes. Mid grade have surfactants, but they have a few enzymes. The top grade Tide and Persil have the most enzymes in them. And so if you do not know exactly what a surfactant is and how it works, I'm just going to tell you really quick. This is a surfactant, a substance which tends to reduce the surface tension of liquid in which it is dissolved. And how it works is the head of the molecule is attracted to water, which makes it hydrophilic, and the tail is attracted to grease and dirt, which makes it hydrophobic. When the detergent molecule meets grease on the clothes, the tails are drawn into the grease, but the heads sit on the water. The attractive forces between the head group and the water are so strong that the grease is lifted away from the surface. The grease is now completely surrounded by detergent molecules and is broken into smaller pieces which are washed away by the water. Now, if you want to know how the detergent enzymes work, it is biological enzymes that are used with detergents that catalyze the reaction between stains and water solution, thus aiding stain removal and improving efficiency. So, none of these have those enzymes, but this is how you get by past that. And it's by using boosters. And you don't have to use a lot, and I'm going to show you how many increments that you have to use. These are the boosters. You think your baking soda or washing soda. And then these three things, let me move this out the way so you can see all three of them. These three are the same thing because they have the same active ingredient in it. This is the name brand, which is OxiClean. This is, both of these I got at the dollar store. I got this at Dollar General and I got this at Dollar Tree. This one comes, let me bring it closer. This one comes in 3 different bottles. There's the orange bottle, the green bottle, and the blue bottle. But they do the same thing. This just has an orange smell to it. What is that? Okay, so all of these work the same. If you could see, let me bring this closer so you could see what it looks like. There are small white grains in there, which are the same as, oops, Lord, don't let me spill this. I'm trying to do this with one hand. I apologize, but most of y'all know what this looks like. It has the same thing as this one. They basically look the same. And so what you just use is 1 scoop. If you could see the scooper in here, I should have left this open. One moment. The scooper in here is what I use for all of them. It's this one. Is this focused? Is it going to focus? Okay, it's a small scooper. And the reason I use that is because the main issue as to why a lot of people's clothes do not come clean, and I'm going to try to make this fast. I apologize for going through this, but I really want to explain everything because I haven't seen that in one of these videos talking about these. You need to add, or you don't need to, you test your clothes first. If your clothes come out clean just by adding what the instructions say, just half a cap full. These are numbers. This is my favorite one because the numbers are very clear. It's a transparent cap, so you can see exactly what it's saying. Sometimes I use this cap just for all of them because these caps really aren't that well. And so what I will say is that sometimes you use too much of this. And I've seen a video of this woman, and God bless her heart. She's a mother, so maybe she feels, and I'm not a parent, this is not shading any parents, but maybe she feels she needs to add a whole bunch of these capfuls. But I've seen her put 3 full capfuls into the wash, and she had Tide, which is much stronger and more concentrated. And I was like, okay, then that's crazy, because when you look at, read the instructions, I'm going to keep harping on reading the instructions. For the washers that you have, they're not supposed to have that much detergent in them, and it can really make your clothes not get clean. And if you read the instructions on the bottles and you look at the company websites, you're not supposed to use that much. And so for these, I would say for this, if you have a small load, add just 1/4 a cup to your wash. If you have a medium to large load, add a 1/2 cup. If you have a very large load, or your clothes is really, really dirty, you are a firefighter, a police officer, a mechanic, something that gets really, really dirty, you can use 2/3 a cup, but no more. You do not need a whole cup of this, honestly. And then when it comes to these, you saw the scooper I had. You just need 1 scoop for your small to medium load, and maybe 2 scoops at most for your large to heavily soiled load. The key to any stain is pre-treating. So let me talk about that now. Pre-treating. These are my 3 pre-treating methods. My mother has had these for years. They always work. Let me show you a little secret that I haven't really seen anybody else do on YouTube for how to treat a stain. And I'm going to have this segmented so you on the timestamp so y'all can see everything and jump to places. What I've seen, and it's worked for me forever. I live in Georgia. If anybody knows anything about Georgia clay, it is one of the hardest stains to remove out of anything. It's equally as hard as removing motor oil or any of that stuff. Georgia clay is no joke. You apply the stain stick to the front side of the fabric where the stain is, and you flip it inside out. I haven't seen nobody do that. You flip it inside out and you apply it to the back end so it can attack it on both sides. That has always worked for me. Sometimes I join both. I put this on the front side, flip it inside out, and then I take this. These are the exact same thing. They're just in different, containers. And then I spray this, which you could use your Shout. All of them really work about the same. One thing I will say, and this is no shade to Consumer Reports, please don't let Consumer Reports make you believe that you have to buy the high-end, really expensive detergents for it to work. They give a lot of shade to these. These work fine. I've seen so many reviews of people who are, one specifically I saw, he was a farmer, and he works out out as a farmer, and you know that's a really dirty job. And he says he's used this and it always gets his clothes clean. So it works, and you don't have to use an excessive amount. The key to it is making sure you pre-treat your stains. That's the key. Like to let it sit for at least 15 minutes. If you don't have 15 minutes, at least let it stay on there for 5. Don't let it go less than 5. Like some of these say, like this one will say you can spray it on, just throw it in. Let it sit. Let it do what it's supposed to do for at least a minimum of 5 minutes. But I recommend 15 or more minutes. You don't really have to go over a day. I've seen some people say they let it sit for a day or two. You can play with that if you want to. I would not want a chemical at the end of the day to rest on my clothes for far too long. But if you do let it stay for 2 days and you don't see a problem that works for you, that's perfectly fine. Now I have this one up here because I don't normally use fabric softener, and I'm gonna tell you why. Hopefully this isn't leaning too hard. I apologize if this hasn't been straight and y'all been looking like crooked. I apologize for that. The reason I don't use this often is because I've seen a video of repair mechanics for washing machines, top load and front load as well. We used to have a front load before we had this one, and my mom didn't like it because she said that the front load really wasn't cleaning anything. And so what I will say is this: that it was more than one mechanic that had talked about how, mechanic for these dishwashers had talked about how people's top load and front loads would begin to have a smell, and it would be because of two things. It would be because of this, because of using fabric softener, and it would have a bad smell, is what I'm saying, not just any smell. And it would be because they use too much, which is why what I do is, for it does not matter the size, one capful, and I dilute it with a 1-to-1 ratio, meaning one capful of this equals one capful of water. Mix it together, then I pour it into here. Because at the end of the day, personally, you may use more. That's up to you. But I don't like my clothes to have a heavy fragrance. I really don't care for it to have a fragrance at all, which is why I really don't use this quite often. But sometimes it depends. I may use it on a blanket. Also, read your instructions for what can and cannot be used with fabric softener. Some of y'all use it on your towels. You should not do that. Some of you use it on moisture wicking materials like your workout clothes and compression shorts and compression socks and shirts. You should not do that. It removes the ability for it to be moisture wicking. You just don't need this. And at the end of the day, this isn't a necessary part of your laundry routine. One thing I will say instead of this, which I can make a video if you would like. Ooh, this is getting long. I apologize. I can make a video on fabric softeners versus scent boosters versus dryer sheets. Now, I will say for the dryer sheets, we have some. We use the Bounce, the Free and Clear, because of the reason I spoke about earlier. But what I've gotten now into using is these dryer balls. This is plastic. They come in wool, but be mindful. I've read, and I can leave some of those links as well, so you can see those. Is that some of the dryer balls that are wool, some people are allergic to them. So this is just plastic. You're not going to be allergic to this. I like these. Ooh, my hand is starting to get tired. Okay, so those will work perfectly fine. And so yeah, that about sums up everything that I have to say about all of these. What I will say is at the end of the day, I said everything right. So if I wash a regular load of clothes, I'll just use no more than, personally, I use a half a cap full of this. And people say that these are watery. They are watery. I will say that these aren't as thick as the Tide. These are a watery solution, but don't get it twisted. I've seen too many people say, "Oh, I need all these suds. I need all these suds. I need all these suds." These detergents are formulated different now than when maybe my parents and my grandparents' generation. So you watching this may be that older generation and may feel that way. If you look, I remember seeing, and I'll leave the link to it, to a GE washing machine that really, the people that were talking about it did a very good job of it at explaining that suds do not equate to cleaning ability. Just because there's a lot of suds does not mean it will clean, which is the reason my mother did not like Arm& Hammer detergent back in the day, because she said that it would smell nice, or it may have been Gain, one of the two. She said it may have smelled nice, but it did not end up cleaning her clothes. They're formulated different now. They make it better. So just because you don't have a lot of suds does not mean that it's not doing the job to clean. At the end of the day, if you have those stains and you pre-treat it and you use the small amount, the appropriate amount, read the instructions of detergent, your clothes will come out clean. I can guarantee you that, because that has worked for me. Now, on the chance that it does not come out clean and you do not like these, then that's perfectly fine. You could look elsewhere. But I've seen all of these work. A thing I do, like I say always, is incorporate the second rinse cycle. If your washer does not have a second rinse cycle, then What I would say is possibly to run it through, if your ours has a drain and spin cycle, so you could do it again with just the water and spin, and it doesn't do the whole process, so it'll just do something quick to do a second rinse. But I really, really do advocate for doing a second rinse cycle. And I really apologize for this being so long, and hopefully it's not too wonky. I'm going to leave links in below to where I got a lot of information from and where it could really help you, because at the end of the day, a lot of us are wasting money using too much detergent. We're wasting money using too much of the OxiClean. There's a scooper in there. There was a dude that did a video. I'm going to put his video underneath here, where he was like, manufacturers put such a big scooper in there, but you do not need that much. Another video I'm going to link is this woman. She talks about she only talks about powder detergent. Oh, I didn't talk about that because I don't have that here. If you use powder detergent, I'm going to leave a link below on how much you should use. And it's that on max, your largest load you really should use is 2 tablespoons. And I know a lot of y'all have been using a lot more than that, but I'm going to leave that link below. And I can go more into those powder detergents in another video if you would like. I hope you enjoyed this. I apologize for if the image quality isn't the best. We're working on that. But I just wanted to get this information out because I've seen a lot of these videos, and I feel like they haven't went into detail as to why these work and how detergents work in general, and why these cheap ones can work perfectly fine for you, and you don't have to be tricked into using all that money. Now, if you are just a Tide purist, a Purell purist, Arm & Hammer purist, that's fine. What I say is this: look up the company website for coupons. You should never pay full price for anything. I apologize, I just shook the camera. You should never pay full price for anything. Look for coupons. Even you can look for coupons for these to they're practically nothing in cost. And so that's what I would say. Normally Dollar General has the coupons. I haven't really seen a Dollar Tree coupon for these because they're only $1. But sometimes Dollar General will have coupons for this and these, because I found these 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 I found in Dollar General. This one I found in Dollar Tree. Okay, I'm going to let this go now so it's not too long, but I hope y'all understand how surfactants work, how enzymes for detergents work. I hope you understand the process of how much detergent you actually really need to use, how to maximize the efficiency of your washer, and how to appropriately use the boosters. At the end of the day, if you look at it from a cost standpoint, you use one of these, you use one of the boosters, it's far cheaper than paying the amount of money for the Tide. For a bottle of 64, you get 2 of these. This says 32, and I'm gonna get off. This says 32. You buy 2 of these for $1. That's 64. The Tide variation costs $11.97, if I can remember, from Walmart. If you use the coupons, they have coupons at $3 off or whatever. At the end of the day, you'll never get it as cheap as this, and it works just as well. So thank you so much. If you like any other videos or an update to any of these, please ask. I'll be more than welcome to make those videos. I apologize for this being so long, but I did put at the beginning the best ones, and then I'll probably do this little snippet later of a shorter video if you would like, since this is going on 18 minutes. But thank you so much. I hope you understand all of these. And for me, I've watched, just so you know, I've done research for a month. I've watched a lot of videos from so many different people and how theirs worked. And just from doing the research and seeing the science behind it, I would say a lot of people are doing too much. And it truly does not require that much. I personally love doing laundry. Some people hate it as a chore, but you may hate it because you've been doing it wrong. But thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this video. Y'all have a blessed day.